Good morning. I've decided to take advantage of the absolutely glorious winter sun today. I wasn't intending doing a walk, but woke up, saw the sun, thought, I need to go somewhere. However, first thing in the morning, the pavements were very icy, so I waited a couple of hours, and now I'm out with the ice burned away with the sun. And I'm going to just walk and see where I end up. Well, I've decided to join the road that leads towards Glengarnock, but I'm not going to walk to Glengarnock. I'll do one of the several loops around the countryside on the outskirts of Dalry. So this one joins up to the B707 road, which might have some fast occasional cars on it, but I'll turn off it and go onto the wee farm roads where I shouldn't really see much. The occasional tractor maybe. There's a nice countryside scene. A field full of sheep. Still see the ice down there. Yeah, it's a very chilly day, but I've said it before. I absolutely love days like this. A sunny winter's day. You can walk, feel the sun, even though it's not very hot, but you can feel it anyway. You don't get bombarded with insects. It's just so nice. The only down point about it is it gives me a runny nose. Yeah, so I left the house around 11:30 this morning, and I'm hoping I can do this walk in maybe an hour and a half. If I keep up a good pace, that should be manageable. Like I say, it was unplanned, and I need to get back and work on a website that I'm building. Look at that amazing view out across Dalry. The next few days has a lot of winter sun forecast. So if it stays like this, I'm going to try and get out and do another couple of walks. Don't know where yet. I've kind of been running out of walks to do locally. So I'll need to look further afield, I think. But this particular walk today, I've never done it at this time of year. So it'll be a wee change, I think. I'm not sure if I've even filmed it. Certainly not since last summer, not since I started putting my ugly mug into videos, so it might be fairly fresh to those of you who have just recently subscribed to the channel. It's solid ice. Is it solid? Is it melting? Anyway, and as that road sign says, the B707 to Stewarton is to the right, and that's where I'm going. Funnily enough, I've got a friend called Stuart who lives in Stewarton, and it's a Stuart spelled the same way as Stewarton. None of this Stuart nonsense. So hello Stuart from Stewarton. You owe me a drink. Yeah, that sun's pretty low for midday. I'm extending a really long shadow here. Still winter. Now, today I'm also experimenting with this camera. I've not been too happy with the brightness and contrast it's been in my videos. Still learning how to get a really good picture out of this camera. So I've adjusted some settings today, and if anything, it looks overexposed to me. But when I colour grade the video, it tends to lose a fair amount of the light. So I'm hoping, although it looks overexposed now, when I come to edit it, it's going to look lovely. But if you're watching it and thinking, that quality's no great, Well, I'm trying to improve it. So if you get any video colour, spit that out again, if you get any video colour grading tips, let me know. Look at that nice farmhouse, eh? It's a cracker. Covered in solar panels as well. They won't have astronomical bills like the rest of us. Does a red triangle mean no cycling? I doubt it. Must mean watch out for cyclists. Don't run them over. I've walked this road a few times, but there are a couple of turns and just past a fork in the road. I can't remember which way to go. So just had to check the map before I ended up in Sturton. So I took the right side of the fork, and I recognise the place now. Just a few wee houses here, and if I remember rightly, there's a horse in the field just past this house. This is just a wee hamlet with 4 or 5 houses here. There's a horse over there, it's behind the house, so you'll not be able to see it clearly. That building saw better days. There is a path there, but I'm rebelling and walking on the road. The ice is still there when it's shaded by these trees. I've seen that road in the map. I'll need to check out where it leads to one day, not today. There's a wee burn there. I think that's called Bombo Burn. Sure I saw it on the map. Strange name, Bombo Burn. Tell you what, this wall's collapsed. It's been rebuilt recently. I wonder if it is a storm damaged wall or if a car went through it. See a really large building between those trees. I wonder what it is. Probably another farm. It looks like the big fancy building behind the trees is a farm. I've never seen a poor farmer. They've always got a big fancy house. Oh, I don't remember there being hills here. Just a wee hill, thankfully. There's another burn here. Heading the way down over the waterfall. I'm going to have to come up with a name for this walk. There's not much in the way of landmarks when I was looking at the map. There's an old mining pit right in the middle of the loop I'm doing. There's been a few tree plantations marked in the map, and there was Bombo Burn back there. Kind of leaves me not a lot to say about a name. It's just countryside. and trees, and it's my baldy barnet. So the baldy barnet loop, the Bomblebun baldy barnet loop, a tongue twister. I think I turn right at this wee house, unless I want to do a really, really, really long loop. I think I've done the longer loop once before and it took forever. And it passed some sort of factory that was absolutely stinking, so I'll take the right turn here. Maybe a few cars skidding coming out of here. It's all the water running off the field, it's frozen. Must be getting closer to spring because there's heat in the sun. It's actually really nice. You hear the birds chirping, feel the heat. Oh. In fact, combination of walking and feeling the sun means I've had to get the hat off. Absolutely roasting. It's actually a nice hill, that. And the only trouble is when I point my camera at it, it just looks so overexposed because the sun's right behind it. Anyway, doing a local walk like this is a good test for the camera settings. I should really do a photography course or a videography course. But I've done enough courses over the years, I can't be bothered doing another one. I can hear something scurrying down there. I don't know what it is. Squirrel maybe. The yellow flowers are coming out in this bush. Spring is coming. There'll be some other people that like their peace and quiet. It's a nice wee house in the middle of the countryside. I could happily live there if I could drive. I suppose I could go out and get a licence, but I can't be bothered. Imagine doing a driving test at my age. Go to the driving centre and saw these youngsters about 18 and me. I don't think so. Over there I can see all those evergreens. That'll be one of the several plantations that are on the map. It's actually quite nice because when you see all these evergreens, it breaks up the landscape a bit. Instead of just a ocean of green fields, got a lot of these nice big trees. Makes a difference. It's a nice view back the way I came. That wee house out on the right side. So I'm kind of the opposite side of the loop here. I started away over to the left near Dalry station, came right across and then came back in from the right. So I must be at least halfway around. I've been walking about an hour, so I might keep my hour and a half schedule. I love going over the crest of a hill and looking down along a nice lengthy road with trees and bushes. It's a nice sight. Again, another one of these evergreen plants. Is it evergreens? Can't see properly for the sun, but another big plantation there on the left and over there. It's actually quite remarkable. I come out and I do these walks in Dalry often and I never see anybody. And I don't get it because we've got all this lovely countryside all around about. So why would you not make use of it? Get out walking, exercising, jogging if that's your thing. And, I've never really quite understood why people would move to one of these wee Ayrshire towns surrounded by countryside and then just drive to their house and work. It's seems kind of weird to me. If you don't enjoy the countryside and what you're doing living next to the countryside, probably just wanted a cheaper house, who knows. Oh, it looks a bit icy here. Can I walk in that? No, I certainly can't. Solid and very slippy. Treated myself to a pair of boots and a couple of pair of trainers. And then I remembered I had these old trainers in a cupboard somewhere. I'd only ever worn them indoors on a running machine. They'd hardly been used. So, virtually brand new. I'm going to start wearing these. Wear these out before I get new ones on. Like what I've been doing with all my boots. And they might not be fashionable because they're about 15 years old, but I'm an old git, I don't care. Oh, there's a fancy wooden clad farmhouse there with the great views. I've got that big glass sliding door at the front, and it looks out across the countryside there, which is slightly blocked off with these bushes, but they're higher up. They've got an absolutely cracking view. Yeah, see it better here, and look at that view. That probably just looks like a speck in the distance, but it's just really beautiful big rolling hills. Gorgeous. Once again, the camera doesn't do it justice. I'll maybe point back at that house when I get to the top of this wee hill, because I've got a brilliant position here. But look at that. Nice big house up there. Can you see it? No, you can't see it, can you? Not sure if you can, just on the right. But great position to live in. What a view. Another cracking big house there. Some lucky people about these parts, living in some really lovely places. It's gorgeous. It looks like it's an older building that's been extended with some sort of barn. Not sure if it's a farm or if it's just supposed to look like an old farm barn. So nice to walk amongst the trees and not get swarmed. I think that's why sunny winter days are my favourite days of the year. Even better than summer. Well, a nice warm summer's day is nice when you're in a town or a beer garden or something like that. And I just checked my time, there's no way I can do this walk in an hour and a half. It's probably going to be closer to 2 hours. It's a big drop down there. There's a river running through there. Big canyon. I know there's a Cleves Cove caves further up here. Hiya. Talking to myself and the guy on the bike comes round the corner. What's the chances, eh? Obviously thinks I'm mental. But as I was saying, somewhere down along that canyon is the Cleves Cove caves. And I walked to them once before. And it was kind of muddy and I couldn't see a way down, but they sit right on the water. And I've saw videos of them online. I personally wouldn't go into them because they just look muddy and dangling spiders and stuff. I'm just not really into that. But I certainly know the location of the caves. So I might do that in another walk. And at least I would have a name for that. Cleves Cove. Right, fork in the road. That's an extended route. I'm not going that way. Take the shorter route down here. Not leaving the branches at the ends, but the trunk is absolutely covered. A hairy tree. What a view. Basket of brown leaves, faded green leaves. But there's colour coming back. Across here, get yellow flowers. More old leaves. Life's coming back to the countryside. I appreciate a lot of these paths look the same. Bushes and trees. Still, it's a nice walk. Got a little hint of the countryside life there. Some guy just stopped in a truck and says, "Do you know Diane?" On the middle of nowhere. Obviously these country bumpkins think you just know everybody else out in these parts. I don't know a Diane. Or any farmers. Or anybody else about here. That is the junction onto the Blair Road. It'll be a 5-minute walk along here and I'll be back at the train station. You can always recognise the Blair Road because this old wall runs the length of it. That's the Blair estate behind it. If you're wondering where you are and you don't have a map, just look for that wall. Right, well, I think that's a good place to wind up my video because I'm approaching the road back down to the train station. And it's downhill from here, so I've got my breath back. But you could do this walk easily if you're in Dalry. Spend a couple of hours walking up here, or if you want to drive to it, you park at a train station or the Blair estate and walk up around here. It's a really nice walk. Just a lot of farmland and woods and stuff like that, as you just saw. But it's good for getting a bit of fresh air and getting away from people, which is always a good reason to come out. But anyway, I'll call it a day here. Say thanks for watching and cheerio now.